Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices like Blitzkrieg. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going back in time to World War II, but we're going to cover World War II in just 20 minutes, not some big war game. Today we're going to be taking a look at Blitzkrieg, which is a two-player game, and it says it's the war game for non-war gamers. I would agree with that. Let's show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. In Blitzkrieg, each player is going to play one side. One's going to be Axis, the other Allies. They both get a shield. They're going to draw some tokens from their bag. They're going to have 3 to start with, and they're going to be choosing which one of those to play on their turn. Here's the board. It's essentially 5 areas of the world, and these are essentially tug-of-wars that you're trying to have the cube on your side in order to score points throughout the game. The first to get to 25 points is the winner. On your turn, you simply place a token and then do what that spot says. So in this case, let's say you're going to place here. Now, blue spots are water and ships can go there. Brown spots are land and tanks can go there. And Air Force, they can go in either. So for example, if this is a water spot, Air Force or the ship can go there. So let's say they place here. Now when you place in a region, you have to play on the top row that is not completed yet. Those are campaigns of this theater. Now when you play this number here moves it 3 to that player's side. This is the Axis, the gray side, so they'll go 1, 2, 3. They're winning. Now, whatever side this is on, when any one of these rows is completed, that player, whoever side it's on, is going to get that many points. Plus, each of these have sort of a little ability that activates. Like this here, this essentially is bombing, which means the opposite player has to take one of the tokens that's in front of them and put it back in their bag randomly. Meaning at the beginning of the game, instead of having 3 tokens, they're going to have 2, they have less choices. Now once you play a tile, you simply draw a tile, so this player will draw up to the 3rd tile again behind their shield. So let's say the Allies player plays up here. This is industrial production. When they go here, they can with the ship, the plane, because the plane can go anywhere. This one will essentially give them 1 additional token. So they will add a token in front of them. That's going to help make up for the one they lost here from the bombing. Now this sometimes is a immediate effect where you can play another tile, but it has to be in sort of in the same area. So maybe they now play this to this space, which is water or land, and it's a 1 point. So they will immediately get 1 point, but they also move this 3 to themselves like that. So this player now goes here. They're going to go here. This allows them to get some research. I'll show you that in a minute. But this allows them to go 1 here. Now that this is closed, since it's on this side, this player here is going to get 2 points just like that. Now, if they were further along the line, they get an additional point or an additional 2 points, depending on how this is, and this does not reset. But now that this is closed, it opens this up for the opponent to go on or us on the next turn. Now that research allows you to take one of these random yellow tiles, put it in your bag, you might draw it later. They do all sorts of cool things. Like having a 4 airplane, but it doesn't enact ability there. Or having the scientist there, you can place it in any battle space and carry out its effect. So let's say the other player goes like this. First of all, they're going to get an additional token from their bag behind their shield. And it's going to be 1 plus, in this case it's an admiral, for every Air Force and Navy ship in this area, in this whole theater. So we have 1, 2, 3. This should move at 3. 1, 2, 3. It's closed. This player will get 2 points. And they'll get an additional point because they are past that. Now you can't just ignore a certain theater of war, because if someone ever gets to the end, not only do they get all the points immediately that haven't been given yet, but they also get to activate all the abilities on tiles that haven't been taken yet, and this one's essentially closed out. Now these ones allow you to move, in this case, +3 on any other theater of war, where this one makes it go +2 in this theater, for example. So that's pretty much the game. You're going back and forth, playing a tile, drawing a tile, until any one player has reached 25, or if your opponent cannot play, because at some point they either may run out of tiles, or they might actually not have a place to play, depending on the land type that's available as the game gets closer to the end. All right, Blitzkrieg has very streamlined play. I mean, you're playing a tile and drawing a tile. That's it. But with that streamlined play, there's definitely a lot of depth going on here. I like the sort of multiple tug-of-wars, where you're tugging over different areas or regions or theaters of war around the world. And it's basically 5 tug-of-wars that you're constantly going back and forth on, and that's always fun. I like that you're sort of triggering the abilities of the spot that you're placing your tile, and they all do different things. and you're trying to find the right time to use the right abilities and the right time to take handle on different spots. The land or sea spots require different placements, so the sea takes the ships, and the land takes the army, and the Air Force can go in either one. And that's interesting because you're somewhat limited to what you draw, so there is some randomness in the game, which I don't mind because you don't know what the other player has and they don't know what you have, but you've got to like roll with what you get and figure out what's the right thing to do right now. It's a very tactical game. I like that the timing of completing a campaign is important because you're trying to figure out when to complete that, because when you do, it opens up that next row in that campaign in that theater, which can open up new abilities that you may or may not want your opponent to get. So you're trying to find the right time to complete that with all that in mind. You're also trying to maybe force your opponent to finish their campaign themselves. So if they're ahead of something, you know what, just let them finish it on their own. They're probably going to win it anyways, but make them waste the turn to do that, because that's going to open up those abilities for you, and maybe there's a good one there, like a 3-pointer right off the bat or something like that. I like that you get more points if you're further on that campaign track, so it keeps people like trying to pull you back. If someone gets an early lead, they're now motivated to try to pull that back, so you don't get that extra point when you do win that one. And I like that you certainly can't completely ignore a campaign, because if someone gets all the way to the end, it's going to end. They're going to score everything in that entire theater, all of them, and activate every special ability that hasn't been activated yet. So you can't just ignore things, and I like that too. It's not like someone's going to run away and you just forget about it. It keeps it tense there. I like the special tiles, the research tiles that you put, the yellow ones you put in your bag. Hopefully you get those out. They do all sorts of cool things. And I always like games that have an immediate win condition possibility. And here, where if a player can't play a tile, you immediately win. And that's cool because you could be bombing them, making them have less and less tiles. And they have less and less options. When it gets down towards the end of the game, you can sort of try to corner them with leaving only one type of land type left, giving their options less if you know they have less amount of tiles. And that part's interesting as well too. On the negative side of things, it doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very special. It's set up on a table. I would probably just walk right past this because it just looks boring. And also, if you play with two players, you always play with two players, but if you play with the same player over and over again, it can start to feel a little samey as you both sort of like to do certain things. And if you stay with the same types of things and you're not trying all sorts of different things, after a handful of plays, you figure out like what I like to do. And granted, you are always, going back and forth and reacting what's there, but a lot of times it can feel a little samey if you're playing with the same opponent. But overall, this is an excellent two-player game. Now, if I had played this, I just recently bought this, but if I had played it last year, it probably would have just slid in at the very end of my top 5 two-player games for the year. So it is very interesting. I'm not a big war gamer at all, but I like this, and I think the box is right that it is sort of a war gamer for non-war gamers. So if you like two-player, quick, tactical games, and you're looking for a filler that has lots of depth, lots of tactical decisions, then Blitzkrieg is definitely going to be one that you want to check out. Did you miss the Game Topper 2.0 Kickstarter? Have no fear, it's not too late to get in on the ultimate gaming accessory. Convert your table into a high-quality gaming table with a fully portable Game Topper system and take advantage of some of the best 3mm premium gaming mats in the industry. New styles, new sizes, and new accessories can be yours. Upgrade every game you play by late backing now at GameToppersLLC.com.